Chelsea nil, Forest 1. Anthony Alenga, dude of the week, 48th minute goal. Great play. Who wants to lead us off here? Nick, you haven't been on the pod. What has your thought process been about watching this $1 billion club play football over the past 4 weeks?
It's amazing. It's beautiful. Like it's angels singing from the rafters. Like it is beautiful. I mean, it's awesome because they've actually done some really good business. Like I mean, they're spending a gazillion dollars, but they've also sent out so many players, so it's not like there clearly is a strategy to what they're doing, and it's not working. So it makes it that much better. But it's like they're trying to be the Galacticos, but like the shitty, unsuccessful version of the Galacticos.
Yeah, I follow.
It's awesome
for sure.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
I'm getting it, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
I gotta say, it's, you know what, I never really had like a huge dislike for Chelsea. I didn't like them, but like in the last year or two hanging out with you guys more and more, I am like, I don't know what this says about me about me as a soccer fan or as a person, but I'm enjoying their failure and the misery of their fans.
Michael, we're big influencers. Dylan, let's go to another Tucker. Thoughts on this one?
Nottingham Forest is clearly a wagon. That's the only way you can explain why Chelsea with all those players could possibly lose. I don't know how else to put it. Like, when you have a team that has 25% possession and just dominates a game like that, like, that's going to win 10 times out of 10. So,
yeah.
In all seriousness, I don't know. Like, at this point, I think Chelsea has turned into my criticism of what the U.S. women's team was doing in the World Cup. There's a ton of talent, but there's no team. And that is part of, I think, the bigger issue that Poch needs to figure out. And the problem is, because we've gone over what their schedule looks like, they might not get more than, 6 or 7 points by the time they get to December 9th or 10th. And is Chelsea going to let him actually keep working through that to try and get the team that he wants it to be, or are they just going to fire someone else and the wheels keep going and going and going? So, I don't know. Other than that, that's a good away win for Forest.
Yeah.
So,
big time. I think we kind of all, I mean, I know Michael is the only one that called this, and I'll come to you in a second, Michael, but I do feel like when we did the preview last pod, we all were kind of sitting here being like, Forest is feisty. Forest is a tough out. They're feisty. Michael, before I let you go, I got one quick question that you can answer. I think one of the biggest criticisms Poch always had at Tottenham was very good coach, never gets any money to back him, never gets any players to back him. Has Mauricio Pochettino lost his fastball?
First of all, I think there are some teams and some organizations that you cannot overcome. Like, nobody could overcome them. I think Chelsea are in a state of, it doesn't matter who you throw in there, player, coach, whatever, it's going to be a mess. Mm-hmm. At least for right now. And I think they are, in the past, they have been unwilling to suffer through the growing pains of that. And I think you could argue that there were growing pains for that last year. And what did they do this year? They bought a bunch of new people. So now they're just back to growing pains again. I love that if you look at the momentum bar of this game, it is all blue. And then there's just like 3 instances where Nottingham Forest get 3 shots on goal. Chelsea had 21 total shots, 2 on target. They can't finish. They have a bunch of people that play the same position. Their best player is Raheem Sterling, who, when he first got there, was unplayable. Like, and not in the British sense unplayable, where they use it as like a good thing. Like in the American sense, where he's like, you don't know how to get him in the game. Now he's your best player. That's not good. And then to go, I guess, circle back, Steve Cooper, better coach. I mean, it's just, Nottingham Forest haven't their last away. They won one away game last year against Southampton. And for me to sit here last week and go, you know what? I think they could actually beat Chelsea away, which they don't win away games. Is more of an indictment on Chelsea than it is Nottingham Forest, who I think are going to be like actually halfway decent this year.
Yeah. Before we move on to the next one, interesting fact: Forest went up last year. Were promoted last year. They've played 3 games against Chelsea. Chelsea have yet to beat them. 2 draws last year and then a loss this year.
And they've signed the same amount of players, I think, in a 2-year span. And clearly, Forrest knows how to sign a bunch of players and get them to play together much better.
Yeah, actually, Steve Cooper, perfect manager for.
I think I did the. It was 4. I think I did the math. I think it was 40 signings or 41 signings in basically 12 months.
Insane.
Unheard of. And one of those signings, first of all, Callum Hudson-Odoi going over there from Chelsea, and then also Divock Origi making the Premier League return at Nottingham Forest. Can't wait for that.
He better start against Everton because you know how that goes down.
Oh, he will. I guarantee Steve Cooper's like, all the tactics in my brain, he's like, yeah, you just score goals against Everton, don't you? Okay, go in there. Yeah.